What's going on, yo? Welcome back to the Outliers podcast. Today, we have a special guest, BAYWAV. Let's go check it out. What's up,
bro? How are you?
Good. Everyone, BAYWAV.
What up?
Awesome. Let's get to it, man.
Let's do it. Hold on.
100%. But, like, they're not the only ones. You know, like, all right, and we're back. Do it again. Ready?
All right.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Outliers podcast, brought to you by the Outliers Creative Agency. My name is Nico D. Today's special guest, BAYWAV. Everyone give it up for BAYWAV.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
How you doing, my guy? What you been up to? Man, it's been a while since I've seen you. You've been kind of in the cuts, just charging up, going
man.
crazy. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man, and beautiful place, beautiful spot. Thank you very much for hosting us. As you guys can see, we're in the beautiful Oakland area around Lake Merritt. Beautiful weather, beautiful people. Love it over here. But yeah, man, BAYWAV, man. Tell us a little bit. How'd you get your name? Or how'd you figure out your name?
Yeah, man. So, a lot of people. So my name it's BAYWAV. So BAY, like the Bay Area, and then wave, kind of like a wave sound file. Like there's
like
there's MP3s. There's wave files, and so, when I first started. My real name is Jabron. So I used to actually go by DJ Jabron.
And, I remember that.
And so I when I just fresh out of college was going by DJ Jabron. I just, I went with it. And then it wasn't until the pandemic hit that when we were coming back from things, I'm like, you know what? Like, I feel like I need to do something different. Like I wanted to come back with the splash, like just do something a little different. And so I just started coming up with names. And actually, BAYWAV was actually an idea that I had for kind of like a company, kind of like agency that I wanted to start for DJs in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And so I had originally started BAYWAV as a DJ agency. And so people who were friends with me and they knew me knew BAYWAV as that. And so I ended up buying the domain. I bought BAYWAV.com. I got all the handles, stuff like that, Twitter, Instagram. And then I was like, you know what? This kind of works as a DJ name too. This is a dope DJ name. And so it all came together pretty much, I wanted to pay homage to the Bay Area. So, Bay. And then again, because I'm a DJ, I wanted to incorporate music somehow. And wave just felt dope. Here being in the Bay Area, we have, the Bay. I've always been, my family from Mexico is from Puerto Vallarta. So I'm always been surrounded by water, by the ocean. And so I just thought it was a good merger. And, I looked up online and it was available across everywhere. Like I said, I already had the domain. I had the handles, and I'm a really big fan of clean handles.
Yeah.
And
we were just talking about that for our business too, or for the creative agency.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, bro.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, I feel like nowadays, so many people are just making different handles that funny, my real name is Jabron Huerta. I've been wanting to get Jabron Huerta on Instagram. And right now it belongs to some little kid who hasn't been active since 2015. And I'm
That's the worst.
I've been reporting him every week, and Instagram hasn't taken him down. I'm like, man, I need this handle. And then there's a guy who has at Jabron.
Yeah.
And Jabron's a super popular name in the Middle East and stuff. And so I hit him up, and he's charging me $3,000 for the handle. And honestly, I'm thinking about balling out for it.
Hey man, it's a business decision.
I ended up buying at Jabron. My DJ name used to have a W in it, so it was at Jabron.
Yeah.
I actually did pay $300 for that on Twitter. Some guy in Mexico had it, and I really needed the handle because I had Jabron on Instagram, I had Jabron on Pinterest, YouTube, everything else, and I wanted it on Twitter. And he was like, "Send me $300," and it was kind of sketch. I didn't know if I should trust the guy.
Yeah, because what if he just those?
Yeah, but dude, honestly, I did it. I sent him the PayPal, and then a few minutes later, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna change my name." And he changed it to something else, and I still have the handle, so I paid $300 for it. But this other guy's now charging me $3,000, and he's like, honestly, so many people hit me up every day. He's like, it's just gonna keep going up. So I'm like, I don't know about, because I do want to build, like, aside from my DJ brand, I want to build that personal brand as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm really thinking about doing it, but it's crazy how we've come to that, where now we're paying for Instagram handles and like, and things like that. And like, YouTube just actually launched their handles for pages. And so as soon as they announced it, I got the email, I locked in BAYWAV, like, cause I was like, you never know, like, people are out there. Like, the next step I'm doing now is doing like the whole copywriting and like registering my LLC.
Yeah.
Because you never know who can come around, lock in BAYWAV, and then I literally am out of my own handle, So.
Yeah, it's like, what, like, that's your identity of the company, of you.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, man, but that's pretty much where it came from. Bay Area, homage to the Bay Area, and then wave, ocean, and then music. So,
hell yeah.
It still confuses some people because people think there's an E at the end, like for wave, but it's meant to be like the wave file that doesn't have an E.
For those of you that don't know, right? Digital files, you have, or audio files in particular, you have a MP3 or MP4 version, and then you have a wave version. Yeah. If you ever show up to a studio and you don't have a wave version, the engineer's gonna laugh at you and kick you out.
Yes, yeah, because a lot of people are familiar with MP3s, but actually wave files hold much more data on the song. So, and it's just much more high quality. So producers, engineers, they prefer wave files because they are larger, so they hold up more storage space, but it's because of the data that they contain.
Yeah, it's more clear, it's more precise, it sounds nicer.
Yeah.
Just more finished, overall.
Exactly.
But damn, okay, that's crazy. Yeah. Where you got the name from. You've been living here in the Bay Area, from the Bay Area. Tell us a little bit about how you started and kind of what brought you into the DJ world and producer world, and kind of what made you get the ick and be like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, man. So for that, I gotta take you way back. Funny enough, like I didn't grow up in a family of musicians. Like, I know a lot of people who are like music producers and stuff. Like, oh yeah, like my dad played the piano growing up and stuff like that. Like my family never listened to music. Like, my parents never listened to the radio, none of that. So I wasn't really surrounded by music. And it wasn't really till I got to high school that, I went to high school here in downtown Oakland, in Vision Academy. And it was like, when I was there, one of the main DJs, his name is DJ J12. I don't know if you're familiar. He like created the slow down dance.
Yeah.
And at the time, it's like when Yikin had dropped, like Prices the Rock. So Prices the Rock graduated from that school. And so both of them kind of had like a really dope movement going on. And he would DJ like our school dances, and he would DJ during lunch, and he'd bring like celebrity, like artists to come through like and perform for us. So
it's crazy.
We used to have like Mr. Fab come through, like Too Short.
Yeah.
I remember at one point we had Raven Justice, and like I wanted kind of to shadow J12, and so I ended up taking over like the sound. I started learning how to work with the sound and stuff. Once he graduated, I kind of took over that role. And so like Raven Justice came through, and at the time he had just done the remix with Migos when Migos was like first blowing up.
Yeah.
And so at first I was just doing like kind of the audio engineering. Like, I was setting up the speakers for the principal, and like I started slowly DJing like school lunches, but it was like very minimal, kind of just doing it as like a hobby, because I just really got into it. And then it wasn't really till I got to college that I was still kind of messing around with the DJ software. Like, I had bought myself like a little controller, and at that point it was just like me kind of just messing around, having fun.
Like having the aux cord,
Yeah, just like having the aux cord. Like, even my family like booked me for like a wedding and like a quinceañera, and like I would like literally rip YouTube mixes. Like, I would go on YouTube, and like I had never DJed Mexican like banda, so I would download like 3-hour banda mixes, and then it'd be like DJ Payaso, like every like few minutes, and I'm like, oh, that's me, like. So yeah, I started off very, very bare bottom, just like kind of messing around, and when I got to college, I joined this group called Hermanos Unidos, and it was like a bunch of Latino men, kind of just empowering each other on campus. And they what they did to fundraise money for scholarships and stuff is they would host club nights. So they would rent out nightclubs in San Francisco and Oakland, and they would rent party buses and then just take a bunch of students to like nightclubs. And so one of the first parties I ever went to was in Berkeley. They had rented out a nightclub in Berkeley, and one of my friends was the organizer. So I pulled up hella early on him. I was like, yo, what's up, man? Like, like, who's DJing tonight? Like, I'm really excited to hear the music. He's like, oh, like, I just downloaded this Skrillex mix, like, from YouTube. It's like 4 hours, so I'm gonna just let it run the whole time. And I'm like, bro, like like people were expecting, like I heard people talking about the part, like, oh, I can't wait to hear Gasolina, like I can't wait to hear like you know this, and he just downloaded a 4-hour Skrillex mix. I'm like, bro, like people are not gonna be happy. Like people pay like $30 for tickets and stuff. So I was like, yo, like, you know, I kind of DJ, like I have some music on my laptop, like I can go grab my laptop in my dorm. And so he's like, really, bro? Like, honestly, he's like, I didn't book a DJ. Like I hella messed up. Like, so this is like last resort. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm down. So I ran to my dorm, I grabbed my stuff, and I came back and I plugged in, bro. And like literally the rest is history. Like I don't know what like demon took over me, but I killed it that night. Like I did my thing. And since then, like I started building a following. Like we invited a bunch of like counterpart organizations, like a bunch of other Latino organizations, like the Latino Business Student Association, like organizing the events. And we rented out a bunch of nightclubs in San Francisco. We actually did a huge rager in like city nights. And we took 7 party buses full of UC Berkeley students to city nights. And
is City Night still around?
It's still around, but it's called Club X now. Gotcha. And then now they actually just started a Latin night a few weeks ago. Shout out my boy DJ Eli. He's doing an 18 and over Latin night now. I think every like 3 weeks or something like that. So it's still around, but it's very different now. It's like they're doing more like top 40.
Yeah, it used to be like Get Ratchet, like
like
super
Bay Area, they used
to
bring like Bay Area artists and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of dropped that now. The residents there, this guy named Jimmy Hits, shout out to him, and my other homie DJ Eden Rock, he's the resident. So they're both running it I think it's every Saturday. And so yeah, man. So that's pretty much kind of where I got my start. And then from there, like really when I got into clubs, there was 2 local nightclubs in that area, you know, and I started DJing at one of them, and I wanted to come in strong. I wanted them to give me like a Friday, Saturday night, but the owner was like, nah, like I don't really know you. Like I already have my residence.
Like that, bro.
He's like, I'll give you a Tuesday night, like just like a random night. And I was like, dude, I'll take it. So he gave me the Tuesday night. And because I had so many people following me, like from those parties, I would pack out the place like Tuesdays, and their Fridays and Saturdays were really struggling at the time. And so when he saw that I was, you know, bringing so many people on a Tuesday, he then started trusting me with the Fridays and the Saturdays.
He was like, you know what, let's you could probably double up on a Friday.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of where I started taking over that. And then the thing is, at the time, like I didn't really know anything about DJ pay. I didn't know nothing about the industry. I was
just trying to have fun.
Yeah, I was just trying to have fun. Like I wasn't really in it for the money. Like, you know, I was just in it for just, you know, to have fun and to play around. And so I was getting paid like $50, like $50 a night. Like I was DJing like 4 or 5 hours for $50, which is not a lot, you know, and especially as a college student, like, you know, like it would have been great to have more funds coming in. But yeah, so I did that for some time. And then the club across the street, they had been shut down for some time, and so they were reopening. And so one of my homies, DJ Jose, now he goes by Zundry, he was DJing with me at the time at that club, and he went across the street to talk to the new owners and was like, yo, like, you know, we DJ across the street, like we'd love to come check this spot out. And so he got us a night there. And so we both went like on like a random like Friday, like a night that we had off at the other spot. And we went and we like packed that place out too. So then the owners were like, it was the first day back, and they were like, saw we packed the place out. And so they offered us a residency. They were like, yo, like we're looking for a new DJs to take over. Like we offer you guys Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and it's like $300 a night. So we were making 300, 600, 900, 1,200 on a weekend. Yeah. And like I was like, yo, that's crazy.
And
like,
college kid, that's big money.
Yeah, and so. And so at the time, we told the other club, we're like, yo, like, you know, we're going to start DJing over there because, you know, and they were like, well, if you guys go over there, you guys can't come back. Like, you guys are done with us, you know, and we're like, yo, like, what? So, and at the time, again, we didn't really understand the industry politics, but, you know, they were direct competitors because they were right across the street from each other. And so, you know, that ended up burning that bridge with that other club, but we easily did because, you know, would you rather be making
300 a night versus 50 a night?
50, and then and they were giving us full control of everything. We could throw our own parties, we could book our own DJs. The other club like still had their own kind of cadence going, and
it was like you still had to, you know, reach up and get approval.
Yeah, and so we were like, dude, like just go, let's do it. So we took the leap. You know, even till now, fast forward to right now, I still don't have good ties with that other place. It's like it's the only place in the Bay Area that I'm just not really like that well versed with. Like I tried going back about a year ago when I was in town, and I'm not going to name the place, but I tried going back, and they had me escorted out. They like
really feel some type of way.
Yeah, I went to go visit one of my DJ friends, and he showed me a picture on his phone. Like, yo, they just sent me this picture of you on the security camera. You're gonna get escorted, and sure enough, security came through, and they got me escorted. And so it's interesting, man, because like it's it's been such a long time. You would have thought the owner was kind of over it, but that's just how it is sometimes. Like, it's a really big thing. And so I continued working with that other venue, the new one called Pappy's, which is now shut down. It didn't survive the pandemic, but I kept really good connection with the owners, who also own Cornerstone in Berkeley. Which
okay.
So I work very closely with Cornerstone, and so yeah, big shout out to them. They're always showing me love, always giving me opportunities, and so yeah, that's kind of where it all started. And from there, like through my residency at Pappy's, I started bringing around like a lot of Bay Area DJs. So like I said, at the time, it was all fun and games. I didn't really care about who I was in the DJ industry. I didn't even know there was like a big DJ like thing going on. Like, I didn't know nothing about turntablism. I didn't know none of that. And then as I started getting more involved, I started looking on Instagram for other Bay Area DJs. Started connecting here and there, and really where it all started for me was when I started trading gigs. So there'd be DJs in like San Jose who would be like, yo, I want to come to your club. If you book me at your club, I'll bring you to my club. Mm-hmm. And that's really what...
See, that's how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, and that's really what did it all for me. Like, one of the first gig I ever traded was with my homie Nate Rios. Big shout out to Nate Rios from San Jose. He's been a resident at Rosie's nightclub. And he was like, yo, like, I want to come DJ at Pappy's. If you book me there, I'll book you at Rosie's. And I was like, yo, like, I'd love to DJ another club. Like, I had only done Pappy's at that moment. Mm-hmm. So we made it happen. And then from there, he connected me with his other buddy, Yo Adrian. Then he connected me with Savage. And then literally just up until now, like, my repertoire is so deep that, like, it's been great just building friendships with other DJs. And from there, meeting promoters, and then meeting managers, and then meeting club owners, and it kind of and that's really how I got my foot in the industry. But it all started with just like having that one place, and so yeah, I know that was kind of like a long-winded answer, but I wanted to give a good history.
No, it's a good answer.
Yeah,
because like I feel like a lot of people nowadays, right? People are going through the same thing you're going through, right? Where it's like, hey, I want to, DJ, or I want to like throw parties and promote, or I want to, like just be a part of the nightlife scene. And, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, knowing the right people, meeting the right people, having the right conversations with the right people.
Exactly.
So it's like I'm sure that that would be helpful for a lot of people nowadays who are trying to get into that scene. And, because again, like at the end of the day, it's kind of, as much as people say it's not who you know, bro, a lot of it is who you know.
It really is.
Like you can be the most talented person ever, but if you don't know where to get your music to, or where to put your talents towards, or who to get in front of, bro, it's like a wrap. Like, it's gonna be really, really tough for you.
1,000%. And I think like it's crazy too. What I've learned about the industry is that a lot of people in positions of power who like book and stuff like that, like they're super low key with it. Like, they're like, sometimes they're not even on Instagram. Like, sometimes maybe they have an Instagram, but they have like 100 followers, and it's a bunch of DJs. Like, and I didn't realize that till later. Like, if you look at even all the top guys who book at like the biggest Vegas clubs, like, like all the Encore, XS, like, Dre's, Hakkasan, I've found those guys, and they have like 50 followers, but it's like all the top DJs that follow them, but like they're just super low key with it. Like, they don't care about the clout, they don't care about any of that.
Nah, because they just want to be in the background.
Yeah, they're
like,
just in the background. Yeah, and so a lot of times, like, you really got to be strategic with it, and you won't ever meet them until you get into the right rooms. And so really, like, a lot of my biggest opportunities have been just meeting the right people. Really just getting into the room and just putting yourself out there, and really, like, we could talk about this a little bit later, but like half of it is having talent. The other half is knowing the business side of things. Like, if you don't understand, if you can't run yourself as a business, then you won't be successful in the industry. Because a lot of DJs think that, they may be super great at DJing. Sorry,
no, you're good.
We're about to silence my phone.
He's famous,
No, so I got an event tonight here in Oakland. And I got to submit my guest list in like a few hours. Like, people are like, "Yo, get me on the guest list." Yeah, man. So so really, it's all about networking for sure, 1,000%.
That's good, man. That's good. See, because again, like a lot of people just don't understand that aspect of it. They think it's all of like, how good am I? And it's like, bro, you could be the best person ever. You could be Drake for all you, like, whatever, all intents and purposes. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the right marketing, you don't have the right team behind you, you don't have the right, you know, support, bro, it's going to be hard to do anything. That's like if you're a DJ, that's if you're a rapper, that's if you're a producer, that's if you shoot film on movies, like whatever. Like, it's just going to be tough. You just got to, you know, a lot of it is connections, unfortunately, and but fortunately as well, you know. But yeah, man, that's awesome to hear your story. We've known each other for some time now. Yeah. I don't think I've ever like got into that deep of conversation with you about, you know, because I feel like all the times I see you, it's always like we're out, you know, and it's just like a good to see you, you know, how have you been? You've been good? Good, bro. I've been good too, you know, and then it's like I know you're working. I'm gonna let you keep working, you know.
Same here.
But yeah, man, that's good to know. Moving on from that and kind of, you know, building on that, like what is the best advice you've ever received, like from anybody? It could be a family member, a parent, it could be a mentor. What is like the best advice someone has ever told you?
Man, that's a tough one. And I've been thinking about that this time because, you know, I've been doing a lot of research recently on like just how to grow my own brand and like, you know, like what are some things that I can do to just, you know, continue elevating myself. And honestly, like in the moment, like I can think about is just like, I know it sounds super basic, but just like, you know, be yourself and like in a way like create content for yourself. Like, you know, when I'm putting stuff out right now, I'm thinking about what I would have wanted to see like 5 years ago, you know, because I didn't have a mentor figure, you know, coming into the industry. And so like thinking about the best advice I ever received, like I never really had advice. Like I never really had anyone to give me wise words or like, you know, a lot of people like had like a, you know, some kind of father figure or someone that was guiding them along the way. I never really had that. So for me, it's all about kind of taking that of like, you know, like what kind of content would young Gibran would have wanted to see. Like, so that's kind of what's shaping me going into the future. And I think it's really what's been helping me like be true to myself and has just been naturally giving me a lot of really great engagement online. Like kind of the content that I'm putting on my stories, on my posts, on my, you know, my reels, like it's all stuff that I'm like putting myself in my own shoes in a way, like being like empathetic. That's really the thing that I'm really big on is empathy. Like no matter who I'm talking to, no matter who I'm engaging with, I try to be empathetic of their situation. Like even if I super disagree with them, I'm like, you know, let me try my best to put myself in that person's shoes and see where they're coming from and understand their perspective.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would just say, like, if I could, you know, the best advice that I would want to, like, give people, too, is just, like, try to make content for you know, your ideal audience, and the ideal audience is you. You know,
yeah,
in a way,
exactly.
It's like
you as a consumer, right?
As a consumer, yeah.
Because, see, like, that's even the same way with, like, people who make music, a lot of people that I work with and everything. Is like, you see it a lot where people try to make stuff because they're like, oh, this is popping right now. Or like, oh, this person sounds crazy. Yeah. Like, I want to sound like that. But it's like at the end of the day, you need to make it for you as a fan, as a consumer. Because like, if I don't like my own song or if I don't like whatever beat that I made or whatever, like, then how can I expect other people to like it?
Exactly.
You know? So like you have to be your first fan out of everybody. You know? And I think that you said like it's a basic answer, but I think sometimes like keeping things simple makes it a lot easier, you know, because like so a lot of people overthink things, they overcomplicate things, and there's just too much going on in like the scope of it, and then it's overwhelming. But like, you know, at the end of the day, like even Quake tells me this all the time. He's like, man, just keep it simple. As long as you like it and you feel what you're saying, you're gonna be fine. You know.
Yeah, and you know, don't get me wrong. Like you can definitely still kind of go with the recent trends and like try new sounds, like try similar like things that you vibe with, but adding your own twist all the time. You know, like what I've been doing right now on Instagram is, you know, I've been going on TikTok and Instagram and just saving a bunch of different reels and like videos that really resonate with me. And then what I'm doing is I'm going through those saved videos and I'm recreating them with my own spin. So it's like, I like this video. It did well on its own, but I wish I could have done that differently. And then I'm doing it differently. So in a way, it's like I'm still catering that to myself, but always myself. Because I feel like if you're always thinking about others, you're never going to succeed. You know, you got to always put yourself first. And like, if you like it, then you, and other people don't like it maybe initially, at least you can live with the fact that you made it for yourself, and eventually you'll find that audience, you know, like
exactly.
like right now, like Lil Yachty, like he's really revolutionizing his sound, like making some music that's super different.
Yeah.
And I just watched one of his concerts he did like at Rolling Loud, and you know, a lot of people in the comments are like, yo, like I'm really loving this new Yachty, like, and some people are like, oh, I hate this is trash, like, and you're gonna get that love and hate relationship. But you know, same with The Weeknd. You know, The Weeknd, like he used to be really into like R&B and like that old vibe sound. Like he had a lot of big fans in that space. Now he's into the, you know, more like pop style music, and but now he's the most streamed artist in the world. And so it's like he lost a lot of fans, but he gained a lot of fans at the same time. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now, where like I know I'm gonna kind of have to switch some things up and shift my content a little bit, and I may lose some followers, but the end result I'm hoping is like 10x that.
Well, because see, like something that a lot of creators like overthink and don't think about is just like, bro, you're gonna have haters, you're gonna have people who love your shit. Like, so at the end of the day, like you were saying, right? At least if you like it, you can live with it.
Yeah.
But like, again, like people might hate on your music, but that's not the end of the world. Or people might hate on your mixes, or people might hate on your content, but it's not the end of the world, because for every person that hates it, there's another person who likes it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
like, you know, there's a trade-off. Like not everyone, like there's never, ever been an artist or creative in general that has never had haters.
No. Yeah.
Like there's never been. There's always one hater. There's always someone online that's like, you know, commenting, leaving like terrible comments or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like you're going to have those. Like if you, what is it saying? The saying is, if you're not causing problems, then you're not doing the right thing. Right?
Like that.
Because like if you're not getting people to feel some type of way, if you're not getting people to react some type of way, then like people don't care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so as long as you're getting a response, whether it's good or bad, no bad publicity, unless like you're going to jail, but like, you know, a little different, but like, you know, like as long as you're getting a reaction from whatever your art form is.
And honestly,
you know?
that reminds me, like I've been seeing a lot of creators on TikTok like who give like tips and stuff on how to make better reels and stuff. Some folks are even intentionally adding mistakes into their videos or like captions so people can call them out. And it's like, and that's smart. Engagement. You're getting engagement. And that's really what it comes down to. Like if people are no matter if it's a good comment or a bad comment, it's, you know, it's engagement. And so that's, it all really comes down to.
Because all they're going to do is they're going to say, wow, this idiot misspelled Fiji water. And then they're going to send it to a friend and be like, this guy's an idiot. And their friend's going to watch it and then be like, oh yeah, he did, and they're gonna send it to a friend. And then
but then in that realm, someone might actually enjoy the content and learn something from it, you know.
Exactly.
And then same thing, like anytime someone clicks share on your video, that's like it's giving Instagram algorithm what they want. So
because then they're seeing like, oh cool, people really like this.
Yeah.
Like all right, like let's like, you know, push this out to more people. Like let's see if it keeps growing.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know, like, you know, as I've been doing my research on Instagram and all the engagement stuff, like. People focus a lot on likes and comments, but actually that's not what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on saves and shares. Because if people are saving your content, then that's telling the Instagram algorithm that your content is valuable, and people are, you know, saving it for one reason or another. And so same with shares. If a lot of people are sharing your content, then that gives the same response. And so what I tell people, like when they ask me like, yo, like how can I boost my numbers, is really just make content that's savable and shareable. And there's like certain topics you can hit that makes that kind of content, like educational content, you know, like really like as a person, you want to bring value to other people. Like the more value you can bring to people, the more they're going to want to be inclined to save and share. And that's really a big thing that I've been trying to focus on right now. Like whatever I post is like, what element of it, like are people being inclined to save, you know, like. And it won't always happen. You know, there's always going to be stuff you might have to put up that's not going to put. If that's your main focus, then we'll really focus on that, you know.
Yeah. Man, dropping gems right now. This is like a social media class 101.
Man, I could literally go on for hours. If you know, that's actually one thing I'm working on right now. Like I'm trying to build out like a course for DJs to like do like the social media game, because, you know, I've had some good success. Like right now, like, you know, I've been kind of doing trial and error experiments with like just my content, like again, trying different formats, but I think I'm ready to like really go full force and start really building like my followers up. And because I've, you know, since the years I've been like, you know, studied marketing in college and stuff. And I think it's time that I start applying that to my own brand, you know? So yeah. So literally I I can go on for hours.
Well, let us know when that drops.
Yeah,
for sure. For surely drop that on the channel. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for sharing a little bit about yourself, and you know, I'm glad that we're able to, you know, kind of see a little bit more of a background of you know, who you are, where you came from, and all that. Mm-hmm. Now moving on to these next questions, it's a little section we like to do where we ask you just a speed round of questions, and you're gonna give us your answer to the best of your ability.
All right.
Now, in no way, shape, or form are we judging you, but we are judging you on these answers. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, we'll go ahead and let it rip.
I already know I'm gonna regret this.
All right, first question: do you crumple or fold your toilet paper?
Crumple for sure.
You're a crumple?
Oh, you know, actually, since I moved into this apartment, I bought wipes. I bought wipes instead of toilet paper.
Playing 4D chess, man. I can't even ask questions.
But I guess in a way it's still crumpled. Yeah, I would say crumpled.
Okay, I think you might be a first crumple.
Okay. Yeah.
Living in the world we live in, and you know what you do and all that. What are 3 things you cannot live without?
Okay, so I have them ready. Can I pull them out?
Yeah, let's rip it out.
So number 1, put in my pocket. So I have this power bank here. So this one specifically, it's Mophie. I know there's like I've been getting a bunch of ads for this Anchor one, but it's my power bank. You know, I'm always like, you know, phones, like the battery dies super quick, and I do have the Pro Max, but still it doesn't even last, like with the content I'm creating and stuff like that, and trying to live stream and vlog and stuff like that. So this one's really cool because it's a really big battery. It connects MagSafe to my phone. You can literally just pop it onto the back. Super clean. It just sticks on. And then it also has a kickstand. So you can pop it out and just like if you want to stream or if I'm vlogging or like I'm at like a restaurant, want to just film myself. So I can just prop it up on the kickstand. And then the other cool thing, and it has what is it, 3.5 millimeter, or I forget what the millimeter is, 2.8 millimeter for like tripods.
Gotcha.
And
the little
so I have like my little tripod that like if you have a DSLR camera or something, you can literally mount this. Like I have my DSLR sometimes, and so what I would do if I'm filming content, I'll mount this to the top of my DSLR. So I'll be recording iPhone content while I'm recording high quality DSLR content.
Yeah, so you get the same shot.
Yeah, so I like this because it's the only portable bank that I found that has this 2.8 millimeter. If you guys can see that.
Yeah. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever seen a battery charger that has that.
Yeah, no, I never. When I found this at Best Buy, I was like, I need that. Like,
by the way, he needs a sponsorship.
I know. Mophie sponsor me. And the other thing that I can't live without right now is a little. This is where I keep my cologne. So I use my cologne. I have my big bottle, but I pour it into here. You always got to smell good. Honestly, like I get a lot of compliments on like the way that I smell, and honestly, it goes a long way sometimes because especially being in the Bay Area, like it gets hot, it can get musty at the club sometimes, like So aside from having gum and stuff like that, like smelling good is always
also
key,
too in your profession. I feel like there's a lot of like first time meeting people and like first time introducing yourself,
exactly.
And it's like, bro, if you've been DJing a set or you've been on stage for like an hour, bro, you're sweating. Like, like it's like you're working out damn near. And it's like, bro, I need to like go say hi to this fucking owner of this club right now. Like, I can't be smelling all musty and looking all dusty.
100%. Like, there's been times where like some clubs have terrible like ventilation systems. Bro. Like it gets super hot in there and like you're just musty after. And like, so having this has been, is like just literally, I got this at Daiso. It's like 50 cents, and like I dump my cologne in here, and whenever I'm about to walk into a room, I always just remember like keep it in my pocket and just spray once, and I'm good to go. Like no matter where I'm entering, always good. So this is my little. I have multiple of these. I have just in case I have one in my backpack, in my bag, and like everywhere. So, and then the last one that I actually just added to my collection are these earplugs. So. I've been DJing for like probably 10 years now, and I didn't realize how important it is to really protect your ears. Like, I know that sounds kind of dumb, but like as a DJ, a lot of people like who aren't familiar with DJs, like the art of DJing, like, you have the main sound system, but then also the DJ booth has like, we're called booth monitors. So they're literally facing right at the DJ's ears. And I've been to clubs like DJs that have been DJing for years. like they are blasting it, like it's loud, like it's ear piercing because they've been DJing for so long, they've shot their ears like completely. And there's times that I would get home from the club and my ears are ringing. My ears are ringing nonstop, and that's when I realized like this is not normal. Like my ears cannot be ringing like this when I get home, and I would have trouble sleeping sometimes because my ears would be ringing. So I bought this. I tried going for like the reusable ones. Like there's like a few like metal ones that you can get, but I just kept losing them. I kept losing them. Like my AirPods. I got the new AirPods Pro. I lost my left earbuds 3 times already, and I paid $100 each time for replacement, and I keep losing it. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy another one. I don't deserve it. Same with my earbuds. I kept losing them. So I bought this 100-pack of these on Amazon. Yeah. I know it's kind of wasteful. But I like having these because I always keep them in my bag. And if I have a friend with me, I'm like, yo, like, wear these, you know? So I'm always hooking everybody up. Like, I literally have them in my bag. So every time I'm at a club and I have a homie come join me in the booth, I'll give him a pair of these. And then I'll put them on myself. And it's honestly helped so much. Like, my ears haven't rang ever since. And, like, it's great.
People don't know. Like, it gets so loud up there. Because, like, all right, every DJ booth, you really think about it, you're where all the speakers are, right? You're where, like, all, like, the basses, everything is literally around you in like a square fashion or whatever. And it's like, bro, like you're listening, and most of the time, let's be honest, if you're like up DJing at night or like one night, most of the time you're probably going to be up in the booth like 90% of the time, right? It's like your homies DJing, you're showing support, you might have a table back there, like so you're just always up there, you know. And it's like, bro, like that's like having your AirPods on super max for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and like, but like, you know, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, even now, like one thing I wanted to try, and I have some homies that do it. They wear their AirPods now in the club, and they turn on transparency mode, so you can still kind of hear. I feel like you look kind of like disrespectful, like wearing AirPods, like sometimes. So that's why I don't do it. But I've tried it before, and it does work. Like transparency mode on the AirPods is crazy, and even the sound noise cancellation mode, it almost blocks out the entire nightclub. So, like, you can still feel the bass, obviously, but you don't feel the audio. So, so there's a few different methods. Like right now, this is what I like because, again, I want to help other people around me so I can just pass them out. So I carry like 30 of them in my bag at all times, and it was like $20 on Amazon. So highly recommend. So if you need sponsor me, or you can actually click the link in my bio, and you can have like this affiliate link.
He's got it all handled. No, I'm kidding. But man, that's crazy. Yeah, you need to get some sponsors, man. We need all these items and shouting you out for free. No, I was kidding.
Mikey.
Awesome. Well, speaking of being out at the nightclub, right? Obviously, having fun is usually accompanied by a drink. What is your drink of choice at the moment? I know it changes from time to time for people. At this very moment in time, what would be your drink of choice? And it doesn't have to be alcoholic. It could be whatever you'd like. But
so lately I've actually been like on a super like water hype. I've been drinking a lot of water because I used to drink a lot of soda, and like it actually led me to like be in the hospital like a few months ago, and just being super unhealthy, like drinking I used to drink like 3 Mountain Dews a day. It was pretty bad. And so I had to cut myself off. And so now I've been drinking as much water as I like, as I can. But I would say like when I'm at the club, like I don't drink too much. People that know me, like I don't really drink. Like I've probably been drunk like one time, like really like I don't get to that point, but I like to casually sip here and there. I like fruit, like cocktails. So anything with like pineapple juice or like cranberry juice. So I think if like someone offers me a drink, I'll probably get like a cranberry vodka or like pineapple rum. So
I'm super chill to sip on and hang out.
But right off the bat, I'm gonna have to say pineapple rum is what I get for the most part. And then obviously that's probably my drink of choice right now.
Oh yeah. See, we've asked that question on multiple podcasts now. And you know how usually like you could tell how people are based off their drink? Like you did a rum pineapple. Honestly, I've never heard anyone say that. And now I'm thinking about it. That's a nice drink, right? It's something chill. Simple. Like anyone who's like me and they're like, oh yeah, shots, tequila. I'm like, oh, you're a bad person to be around, but I want to be around you, you know? Or someone says like Jaeger bombs. I fuck.
I've never even had a Jaeger bomb.
Really? Yeah. I don't know if I would recommend it. I might say like just to try it for one time, just to like see what it is. But do you like black licorice?
Not really, to be honest. No.
It's very like black licorice, like kind of syrupy.
Yeah.
It used to be a medicine or whatever back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean it's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just the speed at which you're taking it, because you're like dropping it into a cup and chugging the whole cup. So it's like, and then like usually afterwards, like 5 minutes later, when your homies is like, let's do another one. Like, so I think that's what it is more so than the strength of it or whatever. It's just like, hey, we can get these down easy. That's pretty much what it is.
I'm gonna have to check it out then.
Awesome. I know that you've done shows in the Bay. Obviously, you live here. You've also done shows in LA. I've seen in the past, 5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
But in your opinion, is Bay Area Mexican food better or is LA Mexican food better? And you can give explanation, because I've gotten explanations. You can,
Yeah. I was born and raised in the Bay Area. So I've always just really known Bay Area Mexican food. And then actually Mexican food in Mexico is actually very different. Like they don't have burritos over there. Like, a lot of people think like you go to Mexico and order a burrito, they don't have burritos. Like they have burritas with an A, which is like typically like seafood. Like it'll be like a shrimp, like kind of smaller, but they don't have burritos. Like, their taco stands are very different. So, but I will say I DJ'd in San Diego, I think about 2 years ago. That was the first time I ever went to San Diego, in the later part of my life. And I tried like a quesadilla down there, and dude, I was mind blown.
Really?
I was like, I haven't had a quesadilla like this in the Bay Area. Like, and there's some pretty good spots up here. Honestly, like I've had friends that come up from like SoCal and ask me, yo, like what's the best taco spot? And honestly, I don't even have a go-to. Like, there's a few spots that are known. Like, a lot of people like to go, like, El Paisa, like, here in Oakland. Like, there's, like, a few spots, like, Sinaloa, like, that are pretty big, well-known. Like, I think there's some newer spots that are, like, really pushing the boundaries. Like, there's one place called, like, Aguachiles, El Tamarindo, like, in
I've heard of
East
that
Oakland.
one.
They're, like, really pushing the boundaries, like, making, like super creative, like these tostadas, like, ceviche that are, like, super tall, like, stacked ceviches with, like, Takis and like all the hot Cheeto stuff, like so there's these places that are like kind of pushing the boundaries, but I'm gonna have to give it to SoCal. Like I'm gonna say the closer to the border you get, like I think the better the food gets. So I'm gonna say like San Diego like had some really great food. LA, like I tried some good spots, but I would say like for sure like I think the Bay Area just is not at that point yet.
I was gonna say like we've talked about with other guests, and the like consensus for majority of people is up here, obviously, we have better burritos, but there's better tacos down in SoCal. Just because they don't really do, like, the whole burrito thing as much. And, like, I feel like that's what we mainly do here, at least in San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, that's, like, a huge thing. Like, tacos are kind of a thing here, but I feel like I'd rather order tacos out here, like, late night from, like, someone's abuelita on the corner. Just, like, you know what I mean? Exactly. Versus, like, going to, like, a restaurant. Like, those are the type of places that it's made with love.
And then even like burritos are changing a lot recently. Like I know like before, like 5 years ago, we used to order a super burrito. Super just meant like you added sour cream, guacamole, cheese. Now you order a super burrito, it's literally a super like foot, like a 2 foot long burrito.
And it's like, bro, like, I don't even.
They stack 3 tortillas together and make it. It's like $20. And the first time I went to this place before and I was like, yo, let me get a super burrito. They're like, all right, that'll be $24. And I was like, wait, what?
You're like $24.
And they're like, yeah, it's like 3 tortillas long. And I was like, what? And like I saw someone order it and it's insane. It's like massive. And a lot of places in the Bay Area are doing that now. Like you order a super burrito, super now means 3 tortillas. I
was gonna say there's a place in San Jose it's like that. It's like La Iguana or something like that. But they have like, cause it was like a challenge like style burrito. But it's like the same thing. It's like 3 like burritos put together. And like, bro, I seen someone order one time. It was like 2 a.m. Like super drunk, like walking around downtown San Jose, like with the homies, and we're like, let's go grab some fucking food. We go there, and like some dude carried it out.
It's massive.
And I was just like, how do you even order this? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's insane.
And it was like some dude with like 2 homies, and they were like, they literally smacked the entire thing. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. There's 3 of you, but I was just like, bro, like I wouldn't even think about ordering that.
Like, that's crazy.
Like, how drunk are you? You know?
That's insane.
All right. Well, thank you for that answer. Because that is a often question we get here in California. Especially with the whole like the make beef that there is with SoCal and NorCal. We really like each other. It's not really a thing. No. Like we really like each other. There are certain things we don't agree on, but it's fine. Like, the Dodgers, Giants, it is what it is.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't like getting too into sports and stuff. Like even being from the Bay, people ask me like, who do you go for? And I'm like, I was born and raised in Oakland, but I support like the A's and the Giants equally. Even when the Raiders were here, I support the Raiders and the 49ers equally. Like I try to keep myself neutral. I support both. But yeah. For sure.
Yeah. See, I get shit all the time because I'm a Raider fan. Okay. I was raised a Raider fan. All right, don't come at me. I know we're doing terrible. It's fine. It's every year, but I just got a soft spot. I'm a Raider fan. All my friends are all Niner fans. Yeah. So I support you guys. The Niner community. I support you guys when you guys make it. But yeah, I feel like that's just a Bay Area thing. Even Giants, A's. Like my dad's an A's fan. I'm a huge Giants fan. But like, if the A's go to the playoffs, bro, I'm rooting them on too. For sure, But yeah, man, I think that's like what separates us here versus like a lot of other places is like, just like the community, like the love, like or like the lack thereof. Like for example, Bay Area is like one of the few places like other than like New York where like, if someone doesn't like you, they'll just tell you like I don't like you. You know what I mean? Like there's no beating around the bush. There's no fake hellos and whatnot.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, beautiful being here for sure. Yeah. Cool. And then I just want to wrap up on a last question here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to wrap up on the last question here. If there is a zombie apocalypse, right? Where are you going? What are you doing? And what is your weapon of choice?
I feel like the typical answer for this is like Costco. I feel like a lot of people say Costco, like, because you're stacked with food. Man, where am I going? Honestly, like, I don't know. I kind of want to think ahead. Like, I'm always trying to think ahead. I feel like I would look up one of those like bunkers that like people have like try to build like against these scenarios.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to just scope one out nearby and try to like sneak myself in there.
like I can help you.
Yeah,
please.
Because if you think about it, those places are like made for that. They're made for like apocalyptic situations. So they have like, food that you can just like
shelf food. They have like, a water source or like a way of cleaning water.
Yeah. So I mean, my goal maybe in life would be to like try to get myself into one of those. Like, if you could pay to be in a membership or something of the sort. But I heard that there's like literally like underground communities that were like they're building out structures where people are able to live underground in case of a scenario like that. So.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. I don't know where these are.
Yeah,
just
I don't
because
know. Yeah.
Like we always have construction out here in the Bay, so it's like you never know. Like, like I swear to God, they've been working on Van Ness in the city for like the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
But like, but like I don't know. You never know. Like, there's like theories. Like, have you ever heard of the theory of Denver Airport?
Nah. What is that?
So like in the Denver Airport, like when it took like an extra like 5 years or 10 years, something ridiculous to like be done being remade or like like remodeled and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they were like over budget, like $500 million or some crazy ass number.
Yeah.
And like people are just like, what do you mean? Like why did this cost so much? And then there's also like questionable decoration throughout. Like there's like devil things or like just like there's just like weird like alien paintings and like a whole bunch of weird shit. But like for example, when COVID hit, Trump went directly to Denver Airport. And like people were just like, why did the president go to Denver like when he's in Washington D.C., has a bunker and like all this other shit. But there are theories that under the Denver Airport is like a higher society type of
I'd never
situation.
Heard of that. That's crazy. See, I gotta.
Crazy.
Where'd you find that? Like subreddits? Like
no. So how I found out about that was literally right before the pandemic. I had went to Denver because my cousin Color Co, shout out to Eric, he was having a show in Denver with like this collective he was a part of called Expression, and like one of their co-owners was actually based in Denver, so that was like one of their hubs. And they had a show, and I'm huge into like conspiracy theories and all that. Like to me, that shit's hella interesting.
Yeah.
Like I like talking about it, I like reading about it, like hearing about it. Like
yeah,
it could be like 95% fake, but like it's still just like the like imagination side of things that I like.
Yeah.
So he was just like, yeah, bro, like apparently there's this huge like conspiracy theory about Denver. So like before we went, I was like, all right, I'm gonna look some like you know, try to peek into it. And like I read all these things, and then like after when we got back, it was because we literally flew out the February before the March of COVID.
Oh yeah, so right before.
So like right before.
Yeah.
And when we get back, then like they announced COVID and lockdown and everything. And then obviously being locked inside gave me more time to look into things. And then I found out about the whole, they sent the president over there, and like, and it's like a huge ass thing. And like
That's
I looked,
crazy.
you know, but it's crazy. Like
that's crazy. I didn't
see
know
like
about
wormhole.
that,
This is the problem with YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is a
You can
wormhole.
really,
like you watch one video, then it ends.
And it keeps feeding you more.
And it feeds you like a whole bunch of stuff, and you're just like, well, that seems interesting too. I'm gonna keep watching that, and then you watch that, and then it's like, well, fuck, like, well, this is interesting, and then like 6 hours later, it's fucking 3 a.m, and you're like, wow, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, no, that's so true. But you know, now that I've had some time to think, you know where I would go, and I think a lot of people don't think about, the food bank. You know, here in Alameda, here in Oakland, we have the Alameda County Food Bank that distributes like all Alameda County.
Yeah.
I have a friend that works there. I'm gonna hit him up like, yo, get me into the food bank. Like, cause if you think about it, they have food. They distribute to the whole county. So
yeah.
They probably have more food than Costco. But yeah, that's probably that's my final answer.
How's it going? Okay. Food bank Alameda. What about your weapon of choice?
Oh man, weapon of choice. You know, I'm a super non-aggressive person, so I think that's never even crossed my mind. Like, you know, it's funny because people are always like, man, like I talk to the homies now, like that I'm older. They're like, yo, like I never bullied you in high school because I always felt you could beat me up. And I was like, dude, I'm like the least aggressive person. You're like,
I'm gonna be like, can we just talk this out?
Yeah, like I literally like, people are always like, you should get into boxing or like something. I'm like, dude, I can't even kill a fly. Like I don't know. Yeah. So weapon of choice. I don't know.
I guess in that sense, then weapon of choice, it could be like a tool of choice. What would be a tool that you would need to have?
You know, people always called me throughout my life like a Swiss Army knife, because I have different skill sets in just different areas. So just some sort of like advanced Swiss Army knife for like has like tools for everything, like just like something portable. Yeah. Like if you can just like switch up a knife or like switch up a screwdriver or like something, like I don't know. That's
a good one actually.
It's just because I feel like it's pocketable. You know, like if you need an emergency, you know, something up. And I know there's some really cool ones out there that have some. You know, even just having like one that has a built-in lighter or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen ones with lighters and some with like flashlights.
Yeah. So maybe just like the ultimate Swiss Army knife, if I could have that one.
You gotta make one now.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's a good business idea.
$1 million idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us.
Man.
Any last thing? I know that you got a show tonight, which when this comes out, unfortunately,
it would have passed.
The show would have passed. But anything coming out within the next like month or two that you want people to keep their eye out for?
Yeah, man. You know, so I'm gonna be back on the road this summer. So I got a few gigs already locked in LA, Portland, a few different cities. And so I'm like, you know, if you're not from the Bay, like I'll be coming to a city near you, hopefully. Just really trying to expand my reach this year and moving forward, getting into different clubs. You know, I mostly do nightclubs, for the most part, like hip hop and like reggaeton and like mixed with EDM type vibes, a super open format. So yeah, just catch me in your local city, like come show love, you know, if permits, I'll put you on my guest list. And then, I'm really going to be this year. My biggest focus though is content creation. So I'm going to be putting out a lot of like, just like reels and just like educational content for DJs and for like, you know, people trying to grow their audience online. And so, yeah, just be on the lookout for that. Follow me across all socials. It's just at BAYWAV on everything, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And then, yeah, I'm also going to be dropping some mixes very soon. You know, people always ask me, like, yo, like, send me a mix. And I actually took all my mixes, my old mixes down, like, stuff that I had from the radio. And I kind of just want to start fresh. So I'm going to film, like, the ultimate, like, ratchet, like, mix. Like, the ultimate reggaeton hit mix. Like, the ultimate R&B mix. And just have them all so people can just listen when they're in the car ride or, like, you know, at the gym or whatever. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that.
Hell yeah, man. So keep it out. Again, BAYWAV on all platforms. Appreciate you.
Yeah, really appreciate you. No, thank you for coming to my humble abode.
Yeah, man. Beautiful place. Thank you for having us. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Outliers podcast, brought to you by the Outliers Creative Agency. Once again, BAYWAV. Everyone give them a hand. And we are out. Catch you next time.
Peace. Dope. Dude, that was great. The sun was starting to come on my face. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.